Hey everyone, it's Ludo. Hope you're all doing great after this nice spring week. Today we're back in the shower area, getting the drywall panels ready for the walls. As I mentioned in the previous episode, the upper part of the shower walls will be offset to integrate an LED strip. So for every cut, I have to think about all the layers and thicknesses to get the right dimensions. This footage is about a month old, and yeah, the weather was definitely not the same. I'm trying to cut everything quickly to unload my trailer from all the panels I bought. I temporarily fixed the panels in place. It's the best way to store them without making a mess, and it keeps them nice and flat. We're heading outside, and as you can see, there's still snow. Yeah, it's freezing. I'm using Fermacell here. It's kind of like drywall, but made differently. I won't go too deep into it, but basically it's a mix of gypsum fibers, which is what plaster comes from, and recycled paper, all compressed together. It's denser, stronger, stiffer, but also heavier. Unlike regular drywall, you can't just score it with a knife and snap it. You actually have to cut it with a saw. So I'm bringing out my big Festool HK85, which handles this material really well. It's kind of like cutting a thick, dense cardboard, but way tougher. For the bathroom, I'll use it on some walls, mainly the partitions, not everywhere. For the rest of the house, it'll probably be my go-to whenever I need paneling. I'd never worked with it before. It's a pretty unique material. A bit later on, DCA reached out for a collaboration to test their tools, including this small cordless circular saw. I only got to use it on one Fermacell panel since the rest was already cut, but it looks very promising. I think I'll use it a lot. Not just for Fermacell, but also for interior woodwork. It's super light, quick to set up compared to the Festool. When the cutting depth fits, there's no contest. Anyway, I'll give you a proper review after using it more, with an honest feedback. If you're curious, you'll find all the info in the video description. Back inside now. Adapting the Fermacell to this little corner of the room, shaping it around the wooden post. For non-straight cuts, the best tool is the jigsaw. Just watch your fingers. Alright, let's move on to plumbing. I'm curious to see how the concealed shower system installs. First, I mark the center of the lower panel, where the mixer will go. I trace the diameter of the finishing plate just to check positioning. Then I take the mixer block and start marking the opening. I prefer cutting an access opening to slide it in and fix it, rather than mounting it first and cutting afterward. Either way, waterproofing and tiles will finish flush. Quick handsaw cut, and there we go. When handling these mixer blocks, always plug the openings to avoid dropping anything inside. Looks good. I removed the panel. It's only held by one screw. Now I need to set the correct depth so the blue casing sits flush with the final wall finish. The stone wall behind is too far to mount directly. An OSB board inside the studs should do the trick. I cut it to size and slide it in between the studs. A quick snip and flattening of the stud rib where the OSB sits. Then I screw it solidly using self-drilling screws, which I'll also use later for the wall offset. I temporarily put the panel back to mark the exact position of the mixer on the OSB. Now I can remove the caps and start connecting everything. I prep and screw in my 4 male adapters with Teflon, ready to receive the pipe fittings. I open up access to the left wall. That's where my water supply will come from a small technical space behind the future toilet. I'm using 16mm multi-layer pipe. I still had a coil without conduit, so I added a 25mm sleeve to protect it. I unroll the sleeve, slide the pipe inside, and I'll cut it to final length once installed. Time to grab the crimping tool. Link is in the description. It's been a while since I used it, and yeah, rookie mistake incoming. Nothing crazy, but I managed to pinch my skin in the mechanism. Anyway. Let's keep going. Crimp time. Quick note, I've added a small list of products I use. It's not sponsored, just tools I like. If you use the links, you pay the same price. I just get a small commission from Amazon. And there we go, first one done. What's great with multi-layer compared to PEX is that it keeps its shape after bending. But if you need a tight bend, don't do it on a bare pipe. You'll risk crushing it. Here it's protected by the sleeve, so no issue. I'll show you a tool for that later. Also, always deburr before crimping. It ensures a clean, square edge and reduces leak risk. When crimping, make sure the pipe is fully inserted. You can see it through the inspection holes. Here I used a 90-degree elbow to turn before hitting the stud. Perfect fit. For the shower head and top outlet, I used wall plates from a pro supplier. DIY store ones often have mixed reviews. I prefer going with pro grade. I crimped directly onto the wall plate. Run the pipe, set the height, cut and crimp. I add a temporary cap. Now for the handheld shower outlet. And here's the bending tool I mentioned. A spring you slide over the pipe to prevent crushing. And that's it. All 4 mixer outlets are connected. Plumbing is always a bit stressful. Not like electricity, where a breaker trips if something's wrong. Only crimped fittings are allowed inside walls, ideally accessible. But in a shower, that's not always possible. And behind, I've got a stone wall. So I bought a pressure test pump. Honestly, totally worth it for peace of mind. It lets you pressurize the system and check for leaks. I connect the pump, add temporary fittings on the ends. And start filling the system, under the supervision of my site manager. Then I purged the air from high points. That's why I left the caps loose. Once that's done, I dry everything and start the pressure test. I go up to about 7 bars, roughly twice the working pressure. After checking all fittings and making sure the pressure holds for several hours, the test is good. I release the pressure, drain everything, and that's a big step done. Time to clean up, and I'll see you soon for the next part of the bathroom. See you soon. It was Luda.